Now let's see what works.
So it's saying we are live. So hopefully everyone on Facebook can see us. Hi if you are there. So we've got the lovely Dan joining us today. We're actually on his page now, which is One More Life Stockton. So I think to leave any comments, you should be able to leave them. I don't know if we can actually see the names with it being on StreamYard. It's new to us, we're going to be honest. It's all going to be fine. Whoever leaves a comment, we can answer it anyway. We have got a few.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll pick up what we can.
Yeah, well, that's it. We've got a few questions that people have already asked when we shared on both our social posts as well. So we will work our way through them if someone keeps phoning me, which is always the case when you want in your phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we will get into it. It's going to be really relaxed. We just want to pick Dan's brains a little bit today. Obviously, it was International Men's Day last week as well. So it's all about mental health and the support and how we can help people as well, and just opening up these conversations. That's what it's all about.
Can I just ask, Dan, would you mind just introducing One Life Stockton for those of the people that are listening that might not be familiar with it? We are going to share this across our page and our channels as well, so that'd be really cool just to get a bit of an intro from you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So One More Life was a brainchild of mine that started sort of back towards the end of 2017. It was really, I competed in a charity boxing match for the first time, and I raised money for Mind, and I sort of like shared a little bit of my story. I said that I was doing this, because I had my own sort of struggles with anxiety, depression, and sort of previous suicide attempts. And I didn't really sort of think that much of it at the time, but like people started coming to me with like their experiences and their stories, and sort of saying like, this sort of happened to me, and I didn't realize like bloke suffered from this kind of stuff as well. So it was like sort of really refreshing to sort of like get my sort of like even just a snippet of my story out there. And before I even stepped into the boxing ring, I already felt like a champion. I'd raised like 300 quid for Mind, and like I said, I'd already started a conversation around mental health as well, and I didn't realize how big of an issue it was until like I said, I started doing that, and I realized more and more people were suffering in silence. So yeah, that was pretty much it, really. That was it. There was a crossroads in November 2017 when all I'd done in my life was sales and marketing. I'd done a pretty successful career in sales and marketing. Didn't have the mindset for it no more. I knew that I had to change career, and this felt like the perfect opportunity to sort of do something that I felt had a purpose, and I enjoyed doing as well. So it's it's been a roller coaster journey over the last few years, let's just say the least. But yeah, all for a good cause.
Yeah, and thank goodness for people like you speaking out and paving the way to make it safe for others to do so and to talk about mental health, which finally, as a result of the pandemic, we're all starting to talk about a little bit more, as if it wasn't there, and it has been there the whole time. So
well, that's it. We all have got mental health. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes not so much as well, and we need to normalize speaking about it. Like if you had a bad back, you'd say to someone, "Oh, my back's really hurting." So we need to normalize these conversations.
Yeah.
And then to be able to get the help we need as well.
Particularly amongst men, and particularly in the Northeast.
Oh yes, yeah, hit the nail on the head there. Absolutely, suicide rates in the Northeast are sort of average, sort of higher than the national average. I actually featured in a Gazette article a few years ago, quite towards the start of this journey, and it highlighted that Middlesbrough at the time was actually the highest for suicide rates in the country. It was deemed the suicide capital. I think it was like some 70% higher than other areas of the country that we were sort of in the right at the very top. So it's a tough economic background that we live in. So it's that's just one aspect of it. But there's so many different factors. But yeah, being in the Teesside area is obviously gets a lot of bad press and a bad publicity as well. So I think it's just a case of trying to find the good in bad situations, and trying to find light in the dark days as well, which is easier said than done. But there's positives of all right. Yeah, there's reasons to do it.
Dark days are starting at 2:00 even in the outside world.
Yeah. Unless you've been working nights, so don't forget that one.
It works all through the darkness as well. So
absolutely.
Well, let's dig into your mind then. We've got some questions that people have sent in for this Q&A, which is super exciting. So we're going to delve into some of them.
Yes, so we will start with, so based on your own experiences, what would you say are the key factors that affect men's mental health?
Oh, so based on my experiences, I mean, for me personally, I've always been sort of like very self-reliant. I didn't have much of a strong family network growing up. And I've always had to be the self-reliant sort of person. So I think for me personally, it's a case of I never really had that support growing up. So I struggled to sort of ask for help as an adult. And I think that's how a lot of people are wired. It's like I said, there's a lot of other factors that go to it. Men are supposed to be the sort of the hunter-gatherer, sort of finding and making sure that like his family and his loved ones are protected and looked after and fed, etc. And sometimes, men, for other reasons, maybe not even applicable to them. Maybe it's outside factors, emotional, financial, etc., that might contribute to them not being able to have that provide those kind of things. I think that's a big thing for men. If they're struggling to feel like they're feeling like a father or a husband or a partner, I think that's something that is a big thing. Other things that I don't really sort of get tapped on as well, drinking and gambling and things like that, all contributes. Debt, financial issues. There's so many factors, but for me, like I say, it was the case of that not having that support network and just being that self-reliant on myself. That I tend to sort of get on with things now, but it also has its upsides. I know that sort of whatever life throws at me now, like I will get through it, regardless of how tough that is. I've got that emotional resilience that I've had for a long time, and it's just a case of sort of persevering with the tough times and the good times, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you think as well through like how we've kind of been brought up as well, it's always been that like boys don't cry, and I think there is the change there. I mean, I've got 2 boys and I've like explained to them that you can get upset and like there shouldn't be that gender thing of, oh well, you're a boy, you shouldn't be upset or you shouldn't cry. And hopefully we are making the changes for that for the generations that are coming through now, and making them aware that it is okay to talk. It is okay for us all to struggle, and we can reach out and ask for help if we need that help and support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think you're absolutely right. It's about people like us who haven't actually met before, having that conversation, opening up like different areas of sort of what we want to talk about and exploring that in different ways. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't even think it's imperative that we don't say these things to boys. I think it's to girls as well, to encourage young girls to cry or saying don't cry if they are crying. Like it's not nice, we need to encourage people to be able to be sad. And that sad's a feeling, and that we sometimes will feel sadness, and it's okay to feel sadness. It's not about dismissing that. We have to live with those feelings as well, and that's how that resilience is built.
It's healthy to feel them, different emotions, isn't it? It's just managing them emotions when they come up, and if we can help people to just understand what these different emotions are, right? I am feeling sad, I am feeling anger, right? What can I do about that, rather than just go, oh, don't be upset. Like there's that thing, isn't there? Oh, snap yourself out of it if you're depressed. It's really not as easy as that. And I think it's not often until people go through something themselves, realize that it is not just a snap out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Thinking about sort of in the workplace then, which is generally where we tend to help people with their mental and physical health, what would you say some of the challenges are at work then for men's mental health?
So in the workplace, there's always that the stigma of sort of opening up in case there's some sort of repercussions on the back of it. Will I not receive any sort of like promotion that I might be in with a shout for? If I take time off sick, will I be sort of like scrutinized because of that, etc. If I don't take time off sick and I let things like get on top of me even further, and I eventually have a crash, like what's going to happen then? I've been quite unfortunate to be in some situations whereby I've had to be sort of like taken out of employment because of the life like situations that threw at me. In January 2014, I'll share something with you now, which is like sort of quite deep. So I actually lost my unborn child at the time, as well as my nana, and with the stress that I was taking into work as well, I wasn't really hitting my deadlines. I actually got like fired within the space of 8 days of losing my nana and my having my unborn child. So that all happened in the space of 8 days in January 2014. And that was really, 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 really tough. I was in a job that I really liked. I'd actually been promoted twice in the space of a year before that as well. So I was really good at it. And like I say, going back to it, this was a sales and marketing career that I had once upon a time that I just wasn't able to go back to. So yeah, there's loads of things that I think a lot of people avoid having that conversation in the workplace for. I think for men, it is a case of they feel like they might be unable to climb the ladder, like I say, in regards to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah, there's the fear of being perceived as weak or less than, or you haven't got the minerals or whatever it is that people take on. Yeah, in the workplace, you're absolutely right.
That's it. We've heard that a few times, haven't we, with some of the staff in the organisations we've worked with as well. And when we do like employee wellbeing assessments as well, it often comes up that there is that fear of speaking out, because they don't want it to stop them getting promotions and stuff, like you've said, which is really hard. That if you are going through something really personal and really struggling, that fear of speaking out when you're such a good member of staff and it's just a temporary situation that you're struggling with, there needs to be that open culture within an organisation that they can support you, because also they're losing out if they're losing really great members of staff, and then trying to fill that position. It's a knock-on effect throughout.
Yeah, it's
absolutely, 100%.
So what do you think we need to do then, as let's start with in society and then maybe we can look into workplaces? What can we do to help men to feel like they can be more open, to feel like they can open up, to encourage more people to ask for help? What do you think needs to change?
I mean, it's tough, there's so much that people are doing right now. Charities and organizations like yourself are setting up and going out and doing some amazing things. I think we just need to sort of keep banging the drum and just sort of trying to make everything a little bit more inclusive. December's around the corner as well, which, is a tough time for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that don't sort of enjoy the idea of Christmas time, because maybe they don't have family or friends or loved ones, or they've suffered some loss, etc. around that time period. I think it's important to sort of tackle loneliness. I think having someone in your corner can be a game changer, whether that's a friend, a colleague, a family member, some guy in the street, a barber or something, somebody that you know and that you trust. I think having someone in your corner that's looking out for you is a game changer. Being authentic, sometimes I've been on this video even now, like struggling to say things that I've said over and over again, but it's all part of the process of healing and sort of getting your voice out there. It's tough, but it's all part of the healing process. And I think, like I said, it's we tend to avoid those tough conversations, those tough situations. It pushes our boundaries and our emotional boundaries as well. And I think, like I say, sometimes we need to do that. And it's just a case of having somebody in your corner for when you are able to offload, to then just make sure that you're not going to be offloaded too much and that you can reel it in and you are safe when you are sort of doing those kind of things and having those conversations as well.
So there's power in community, isn't there? And that connection, I think even more so this last year and a half, 2 years, what we've been through, I think people have realised how much they need that support and community feeling to get through really hard times, and for like managers as well to know how they can help their people as well, because I think there's that fear of, well, I don't know what to say, or I don't know if I'm going to do the right thing. People often think they need to solve everything, which is often not the case. People just need a listening ear.
Absolutely, 100%.
to summarize that, then I suppose like from both a cultural and workplace perspective, just we need to let people know that we care, whether that is to a workplace wellbeing strategy, whether it is to a neighbor, whether it is to a family member. Don't just assume that they know, to let them know and to pave the way, I think is kind of what you were saying.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I think when somebody actually that has maybe not accessed therapy before, for example, counselling, a counsellor will literally just sit and listen to you talk for an hour or however long that session will go on. They won't try and offer you any sort of solution to what's going on. They will literally sit there and listen and absorb what's going on in your life. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realise, is that when you go to a therapist or a counsellor, they're not there to help you fix your life. They help you to allow you to fix your own life by giving you that time, that space, that opportunity, and that empathy and that knowledge to sort of say, look, I'm here and I'm listening, and like, you have got my undivided attention. And that's all it is. You know, when I was chatting with Hannah, I mentioned that if I was talking to somebody who's in a vulnerable situation, I let them know that, like, look, I'm turning my phone off now. Nobody's going to distract us. It's just me and you. We'll have this conversation. You know, it don't matter how long it'll take, how hard it's going to be. We'll have it. And I think that's so important. You know, I think that's really sort of like it puts people in the moment and says, look, yeah, this guy is important, is listening to me, and what I'm saying is important to him. Yeah. So yeah, if you could be that person, then be that person. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I love that.
It isn't so important. That's what we say often when we're speaking with managers and that as well. It's shutting the door, it's putting your phone off, it's closing the laptop, and it's making sure that they can see that you are openly listening to how they're feeling.
Yeah.
And even as parents as well, I think we can be, I know I'm guilty of it, running around trying to do all the jobs and looking after my boys. And I am sometimes on my phone and doing things, and I need to be very conscious of putting that away and going, right, I am listening to you. Because I think we all do it, and it's just realising sometimes.
Of course, yeah. We're all human. Yeah, we are all human at the end of the day. And obviously, it's a human nature to have your phone in your hand, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely, I get it. No judgment.
Yeah, and if anybody has got any other questions as well. So how can One More Life help locals then within in the area if they're struggling with the mental health?
So by all means, get in touch. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. By all means, drop me a message. And otherwise, you can drop me an email. What I will be doing, we did have something set up pre-COVID, which was a mental health support group, which we basically meet every week for a coffee and a cake and just a chinwag. I'm hoping to set that back up in sort of January 2022. In the meantime, you've got places like Middlesbrough and Stockton Mind, Insight Healthcare, and also Alliance as well. So if anybody does need to speak to somebody, you know, obviously local crisis teams as well. In the meantime, yeah, and please do drop me a message or an email or anything. I think my mobile number's on my Facebook page as well. So by all means, get in touch on WhatsApp or text on as well.
That's so great,
yeah,
Dan.
That's pretty much what we're doing.
We love what you're doing. We love the message that you're spreading, and you know, just paving the way for other people to open up. And it's so great that you're out there offering that kind of support. And it's been really lovely to chat to you today and just hear a bit more about what you're doing and to get your take on this really important topic.
Absolutely, yeah, it is. So everybody, the more people, like you say, who can bang the drum and make people aware they're not on their own, that there is people out there who are ready to listen, that there is services available as well, because it can be a minefield if you're feeling a certain way and you don't know where to reach out as well. So, yeah, Dan's your man. He'll know where to
Absolutely. Yeah, that's another thing as well. So, if anybody does need help accessing further sort of like help and you don't know where to go to, you know, I've got like names and businesses and organisations that can point you in the direction of. So, if you need any help with signposting as well, just please drop me a message. That's absolutely fine. But thanks for having me, girls. Thanks for having me. It's great to meet you, girls.
Yeah. Thanks very much,
so much.
Thanks everyone for
watching. Thank you. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.